రూమ్ లో ఉన్నారు.
ఓకే మేడం, ఓకే. నాకైతే రాలే మేడం, చేసుకుంటాను.
Good morning, sir. Srinivas Rao, sir.
Good morning, madam. How are you, madam?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Okay, nice to see you, madam, through Zoom.
Yes, sir. Happy to see you, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. How are you, madam?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
What about this COVID condition around you?
Sir, here it is a bit okay. It's not that bad here, sir.
Sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes.
Hello?
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 Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, I'm ready, sir.
Okay, ma'am, 1 minute.
Yeah.
We're going to give this as a live YouTube stream.
Yes, sir.
One minute, madam. 1 minute. More options రావాలి కదా రాజు, ఇలా మోర్ ఆప్షన్స్ రావాలి కదా సార్. శ్రీనివాసులు సార్, శ్రీనివాసులు సార్. హలో, మీరు నన్ను హోస్ట్ చేయండి. వినపడుతుంది, హోస్ట్ చేయండి నన్ను, హోస్ట్. ఓకే, అదే లైవ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ రావట్లేదు అందుకని.
సరదా వెయిటింగ్ రూమ్ లో ఉన్నారు చాలా మంది, అడ్మిట్ చేసుకోండి.
అదే మేడం, సార్ ఇప్పుడు నన్ను హోస్ట్ చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ అది తీసేసాను, ఎనేబుల్ చేశాను సార్. మీ పేరే ఉంటది, పలాడి శ్రీనివాస్ లోనే ఉంటది చూడండి. సార్ నా పేరు మీ పేరే చూపిస్తుంది ఇంకొకటి. ఎందుకంటే కాదు, నేను లైవ్ స్ట్రీమ్ ఇవ్వాలి. కోహోస్ట్ సార్, హోస్ట్ ఇవ్వండి సార్, కోహోస్ట్ కాకుండా. హలో, ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది, ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది సార్. మీరు కోహోస్ట్ కూడా తీసేశారు.
Technical glitches.
సార్ ఓకే, రైట్ సార్. ఇప్పుడు హోస్ట్. ఓకే సార్, రైట్ సార్. మేడం, ప్రిన్సిపల్ మేడం, ఇప్పుడు అనేబుల్ చేశాను, ఎవరు లేరు అనుకుంటా మేడం, అందరు జాయిన్ అయిపోవచ్చు, డైరెక్ట్ గా జాయిన్ అవుతారు.
6 మెంబర్స్ అని చూపిస్తుంది.
ఇప్పుడు లేదు మేడం, డైరెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు మేడం.
ఓకే.
మళ్ళీ వెయిటింగ్ రూమ్ ఎందుకు వస్తుంది సార్?
నేను అడ్మిట్ చేస్తున్నాను సదా, నేను అడ్మిట్ చేస్తాను
మేడం. నేను అది తీసేస్తాను మేడం, డైరెక్ట్ అడ్మిట్ అయ్యేటట్లు చేస్తాను. అవును సార్, అవును సార్. అది అనేబుల్ చేస్తే ఇప్పుడు యూట్యూబ్ లింక్ ఇస్తున్నాను సార్, ఒక 1 minute లో అయిపోతుంది.
No, admit karlera beta.
చేస్తున్నాను మేడం.
Yes, yes.
ఓకే సదా, నేను అడ్మిట్ చేస్తుంటానులే.
ఓకే ఓకే మేడం, 1 minute. యూట్యూబ్ కూడా ఓకే సార్. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Now everything is okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Respected Principal, Dr. Appaiah Chinnamma Madam, President, Association for Biodiversity Conservation and Development, Professor Nirmala Baburao ma'am, and the resource persons, Professor T.Pullaiah sir, and Dr. K.Thulsi Rao sir, convener of the webinar, P. Srinivasan sir, co-convener Srinivas Rao sir, and also Siddhulu, and the other members of ABCD, the treasurer and EC members, and vice president, scientists, academicians, environmental lovers, and my dear students, and my beloved faculty of this BRR college. Good morning, one and all. A warm welcome to you all for this national webinar on the eve of International Biological Diversity Day 2021. The title of the webinar is Biodiversity in India with a special reference to Eastern Ghats. Why? Because we are all laid in the Eastern Ghat area. Myself, Dr. B. Sadasivaya, working as assistant professor of
We can't hear you, sir.
Connection has gone.
Connection has gone, sir. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am here.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it is clear. Now it is more clear. Yeah, go ahead.
Abhay, YouTube on this, no?
I think this is a new computer.
Zoom on.
Yes, I am here, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes.
Sir, I'm going to live check.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Sorry for the disturbance.
No problem.
Sir, recording.
There is a small disturbance
It
in
is
internet.
showing recording paused.
I'm also the
Now again gone, sir.
it is paused, na?
Yes.
It's coming, sir. Wait.
Yes.
It will come, sir. No problem.
Yeah.
It will come. I'm also welcome Dr. T.S.P.R. Shivprasad Reddy Garu, a senior most journalist from Hyderabad, who is giving live stream of our webinar. We are all known about the consequences of human interference on biodiversity. Now we are facing a lot of problems for what we did to the nature. In future, we are going to face an adverse conditions of weather due to the unethical, unscientifical, and unlawful things what we are doing to the biodiversity. Hence, ABCD in association with Department of Botany and Department of Microbiology of Dr. BRR Government College, Jadcherla, is combinedly organizing this webinar on biodiversity of India, a special reference to Eastern Ghats. With this background, I would like to invite Professor Nirmala Baburao, Madam, say hi to all our participants. Ma'am, please raise your hand.
Yeah.
It's my privilege to invite our beloved Principal, Dr. Appaya Chinnamma, Ma'am. Say hi to the participants and delegates.
Hi,
I would
good
like
morning.
to invite the convener of the webinar, P. Srinivasulu, sir, HOD, Department of Botany, Dr. BRR Government College, Jadcherla. Sir, please raise your hand. I'm grateful to invite the co-convener of the webinar, Sri Siddhulu from Tara Degree College, and also Joint Secretary of ABCD, and another co-convener, Sri M. Srinivas Rao, HOD, Department of Microbiology, Dr. BRR Government College, Jadcherla. I would like to invite Mr. Sharat Gaud, the Treasurer of ABCD. It's my privilege to invite Sri P.V. Ramakrishna Garu, Forest Divisional Officer and also Executive Member of the ABCD. Last but not least, I'm blessed and grateful to invite my beloved Guru, teacher, mentor, and a great scientist of botany in India, Professor T.Pullaiah. Great conservator, philosopher, and a great humankind towards the biodiversity, Dr. K.Thulsi Rao Garu. Sir, please raise your hands and say hi to the participants. The webinar is live streaming on YouTube channel of Dr. BRR Government College, Jadcherla Social Sciences, and also Dr. TS-PR YouTube channel, Hyderabad. Now, I would like to call upon our beloved President of ABCD to speak and to give a message to the participants and about the ABCD also. Ma'am, Nirmala Baburao, ma'am,
Yes.
I'm inviting
Sir,
you to speak. Sir, HOD, Department of Botany, Dr.
హ్యాంగ్ అవుతుంది. ఏమైంది ఇది ఎందుకు వస్తుంది ఇది? మన దగ్గర ప్రాబ్లం నెట్ ఇదేమో ఇది పోవాలి కానీ దానికి దానికి గుర్తు వస్తుంది ఇది దీనికి పోతుంది. ఈ జూమ్ ఐడి పెట్టి చూడు. దీపు దీపు ఫోన్ ఇక్కడ పెట్టు. ఫోన్ ఎక్కడ తీసుకోపో. ఈ జూమ్ ఐడి ఇక్కడ పెట్టి చూడు. దాంట్లో వస్తుందా లేదా తెలుస్తుంది. రా దీపు.
ABCD started in the year 2012
with us.
and changed its name in 2011. Our founder, Dr. Assistant Professor in Ghats.
Live होता है.
Research is also going on in Eastern Ghats. They are also an expert in grass identification, working on grasses of Nalamalai. Tiger census wildlife, census of Manapatti district from 2018. He has organized national seminar, state level seminars, 3 workshops on plant taxonomy. Let me tell you, as biodiversity is a living fabric for our planet, let us be part of the solution for nature. And it is the foundation upon which we can build back better. As we are aware of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Biodiversity Day is being commemorated through webinar campaign. I assure this webinar on biodiversity will be useful for all the faculty, participants in general, all the human beings present in this webinar. And they all will conserve to keep a healthy and a vibrant ecosystem. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. So thank you very much. Sir, it's
Thank you,
over
ma'am.
to
Thank you for,
Sadashivaya, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for the introduction of ABCD and great message to the participants about biodiversity. Before going to talk of Dr. Appiya Chinnamma ma'am,
Yes.
I would like to invite the co-convener of the webinar, Mr. Srinivas Rao garu, to lightening the lamp, and I am also inviting Lata ma'am, lecturer in botany. Please sing a Vande Mataram song. Ma'am, please.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
And not visible anything.
Yeah. You are visible, sir.
Lata ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
One Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Sujalam Sufalam. Malayaj Sheetalam. Sasyashyaamalam Mataram. Vande Mataram. Shubhrajyosna Pulakitayaminim. Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhinim. Suhasinim. Sumadurabashinim. Sukadam Varadam Mataram. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a wonderful singing of Vande Mataram. Now, I would like to invite our beloved principal, Dr. C.H. Appiya Chinnamma madam, the principal, Dr. BRR Government College, Jadcherla, to speak on this occasion.
Thank you, Dr. Sadasivaya, for
Thank you, ma'am.
invitation. Good morning. Welcome you all for today's webinar. I am Dr. Appiya Chinnamma, principal of this college. Today's webinar is jointly organized by the Department of Botany and Microbiology of our college in association with the ABCD group. My heartfelt thanks and gratitudes to eminent personalities, Professor Pullaiah Garu, retired, Department of Botany, SK University, Anantapur District, Andhra Pradesh, and Dr. K.Thulsi Rao Garu, retired Deputy Conservator, Forest Department, Andhra Pradesh, for their acceptance to share their knowledge on this occasion. Today, that is May 22nd, International Biological Day is celebrating with aim to throw the light on biodiversity. Biodiversity is referred to living things. Today, there are a lot of consequences facing, a lot of issues on biodiversity facing due to many factors. However, our resource persons are going to share their knowledge. Let us all pay our attention and gain the knowledge. Thank you, one and all. Over to Sadasivaya Garu.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your sweet and short message on biodiversity conservation. Thank you very much. We are ahead in conservation of biodiversity. The Dr. BRR College is the first college in the Telangana state. Now we are conserving nearly 800 species of plants in Telangana Botanical Garden. The individuals of plant number is around 4,000 individuals planted in a year. That is the capacity from especially Jammu and Kashmir Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Orissa. Majority of the people from Telangana and Tamil Nadu, and then Andhra Pradesh. So, with this background, I would like to invite Sri Sidhulu Garu to introduce our today's speaker, Professor Pullaiah garu. Sidhulu, sir, please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Welcome,
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, you are audible, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Very good morning to all. It's a great opportunity for me to introduce our today's speaker and eminent personality and legend in the field of plant taxonomy, Professor T.Pullaiah, sir. So, sir has obtained his MSc and a PhD degrees in botany from Andhra University. And he was a postdoctoral fellow at Moscow State University, Russia during 1976-78. And he traveled widely in Europe and visited universities and botanic gardens in about 17 countries. And he joined Sri Krishna Deva Raya University as a lecturer in 1979 and became professor in 1993. He held several positions in the university as Dean, Faculty of Life Sciences, Head Department of Botany, Chairman Board of Studies, Head Department of Sericulture, Coordinator and Chairman Board of Studies in Biotechnology, and Principal, Sri Krishna Deva Raya University College. He retired from active services in 2011 and was selected by UGC as UGC BSR Faculty Fellow in the Department of Botany, Sri Krishna Deva Raya University. He has published 75 books, 330 research papers, and 35 popular articles. His books have been published by reputed international publishers like Elsevier, Spring, CRC Press, Taylor and Francis, Press, CBS Publishers, etc. So, he was the principal investigator of 20 major research projects totaling more than 3 crore of rupees funded by AP Netherlands Biotech Program, DBT, DST, CSIR, UGC, BSI, WWF, GCCF. Under his guidance, 54 students obtained their PhD degrees and 34 students their MPhil degrees. He is the recipient of Best Teacher Award from the government of Andhra Pradesh. And Professor P. Maheshwari Gold Medal, Professor P.C. Trivedi Medal of Editorial Excellence, and Dr. G. Panigrahi Memorial Award of Indian Botanical Society, and Professor Y.D. Tyagi Gold Medal of the Indian Association for Angiosperm Taxonomy. He was President of Indian Association for Angiosperm Taxonomy and President of the Indian Botanical Society in 2014. And he was a member of Species Survival Commission of International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. So this is the actually short and very few points about sir. Actually, there are many things to say about sir. So thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. And yes, I will request you to start your lectures. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Shall I?
Yes, sir. Waiting for you.
Yeah. Thanks. Before I start my lecture on biodiversity today, I would like to bring to the notice of the audience who are listening to this lecture that one of our greatest biodiversity conservationists in India, Sundarlal Bahuguna, you must be knowing, Chipko movement. Sundarlal Bahuguna passed away yesterday. Let us pay homage to Sundarlal Bahuguna. He was a person who started Chipko movement in Garhwal Himalayas when the trade persons from Gujarat wanted to cut down the trees. The ladies, he mobilized the ladies in that particular area to hug the trees. That if you want to cut a tree, timber, cut our head. So that is the movement. That is how biodiversity was conserved by one of our greatest environmentalists, Sundarlal Bahuna. Sorry to know that he passed away. I hope all of you take his blessings and learn more about his. Yeah. Let me talk on biodiversity of Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats, remember, one of the ecoregions of India, extend from Mahanadi Delta. Mahanadi, remember, the borders are Mahanadi in the north of Odisha, down in Tamil Nadu between Vaigai and Mahanadi regions. This extends to mainly to Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and partly to Telangana and a little Karnataka also. So right from Ganjam in Kalahandi, Visakhapatnam, Tirupati, Shavara Hills, etc. So the prominent hill ranges. Remember, Western Ghats is a continuous chain of unbroken hills except Pal Ghat Pass. Remember, unbroken hill ranges, whereas Eastern Ghats are broken hill ranges and they are cut through the rivers Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri and smaller rivers. Well, the hill ranges in Odisha are Konmal Range, Kalahandi Range, Ganjam Range, Gajapati Range, Koraput Range, Sambalpur Range and Jankanal. Whereas in Andhra Pradesh, they extend over Palakonda Hills, Arako Hills, Yarada Hills. Remember, Yarada Hills is right into the Bay of Bengal. Well, the lighthouse, Visakhapatnam Harbour is protected by these Yarada Hills. But that is Eastern Ghats. Papi Hills, Kondapalli Hills, Nallamalai, Sheshalam and Kambakam Hills. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, remember, well, here this is part, Nallamalais extend to Nallamalais and then other Papi Hills. Papi Hills extend to Kambam, whereas Nallamalais extend to Mahaboobnagar and then Nalgonda. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, Javadu Hill, Jinji Hills, Shevarayan, Kalrayan Hills, Kollimalai, Bodimalai, Chitteri Hills, Belagiri Hills, Pachamalais, Chirmalais, Alagara Hills. Whereas in Karnataka, they extend over Biligiri Hills, Biligiri Rangan Hills, and then Sandur. Well, the highest peaks, remember, are in Orissa, Turiyakonda 1598, Mahendragiri 1506, Udayagiri 1364, whereas Armakonda is 1680, whereas Galikonda in Araku Valley, which you are all familiar, is 1643, whereas Harsley Hills is 1234, whereas Tirumala Hills is 1155. In south, Shevara Hills is 1700 meters, Kolli Hills 1500, and then Simala Hills 1300. Well, we surveyed the whole of Eastern Ghats for almost more than 35 to 40 years, including present Sadasivaya, and there are nearly 3,417 species of both angiosperms and gymnosperms, distributed over 1,172 genera and 90 families. Well, you can see there the breakup of dicotyledons, monocotyledons, and gymnosperms. What are the largest families in Eastern Ghats? The largest families are Poaceae, Fabaceae, Euphorbiaceae, Cyperaceae, Acanthaceae, Aspraceae, Rubiaceae, Lamiaceae are some of the largest families. Remember, even Moraceae has 40 species. We know only ficus, but still there are 40 species in Eastern Ghats. Well, total number of grass taxa, remember, as the Sadasivaya is one of the experts in it. Well, in total, there are 360. Well, Northern Eastern Ghats 220, Middle Eastern Ghats 257, and then Southern Eastern Ghats 212. Well, restricted taxa are 40, 18, and 34 in these particular taxa. Well, what are the largest genera in Eastern Ghats? Total area with 49 species. Imagine one genus, 49 species, Cyperus 44, Euphorbia 40, Fibristyle 32, Ficus 28. Remember, I told you, Ficus 28, Leucas 27, Indigofera 26, Ipomia 24, Philanthus 22, Cassia. It goes on. So here, these are some of the largest genera in Eastern Ghats, dominant genera. Well, distribution of orchids. Remember, we brought out, I'll show you that photograph also. A total of 197 taxa belonging to 66 genera occur in Eastern Ghats. Andhra Pradesh Eastern Ghats has 89 species, Karnataka 27 Eastern Ghats. I am talking Eastern Ghats, not Karnataka, whole Karnataka. Odisha Eastern Ghats 128, Telangana Eastern Ghats 17, Tamil Nadu Eastern Ghats 89. Telangana Eastern Ghats is really small area of Khammam, Mahabunagar, and then districts only. So, whereas the largest orchids genera are in Eastern Ghats, you can see the photographs also. Dendrobium 19 species, Bulbophyllum 12 species, Overalia 10, Lucia 5, Acampea 4, Erides 4, Colchicum, Gastrocheilus, Lipochiaris, Cleistostoma, Coelogyne, Cymbidium, Papillion, Polydota, Pometocarpa, and Vanda, 2 species. Well, orchid genera Eastern Ghats are Habenaria 22, Juxine 9, Liparis 8, Eulopia 7, Nevelia 6, Pedistylus 5, Geoderms 4, Goderea 4, Crepidium 3. Well, what are the restricted taxa which occur only in Eastern Ghats and nowhere else? Well, restricted taxa which are restricted to Andhra Pradesh are Argyria aracuensis, Argyria srinivasanai, Coleus subbaravai. Remember one Dr. G.V. Subbarao and his wife G.R. Kumari from Botanical Survey of India have worked throughout their life in the whole of Eastern Ghats, especially in Visakhapatnam, Vijayanagaram, Srikakulam, etc. They have reported these species. Curcuma longa, Vanahardiana, Psychosphaerica, especially in northern coastal, northern Eastern Ghats, Srikakulam, Vijayanagaram, Eulelia quadrinervis, Globa oryxensis, Kalanchoy cheruconensis, Lucas pocatiana, Memsilian jadavai, Memsilian marabense. This jadavai is from Eastern Ghats. Well, it is named on Jadav, the forest officer of South Telangana district. Memsilian madgolense, Milletia. Remember, this Memsilian is endemic and also endangered. Milletia orisse, Musa Shankarai, and then Ophiuraza Chandrasekharanai, Orthocyphon rubicundus, Paventa minor, Pimpinella bracteata, Povastum rugosus, Vincotia haeniana, Pimpinella tirpatensis also. Please add here Pimpinella tirpatensis, Vincotia haeniana, and Strobilanthus japonensis. Similarly, Parahypera bellarensis. Remember, this species was thought extinct. Please remember, thought extinct, but recently, Shinde and one of the scholars from St. Xavier College, Bombay, they rediscovered this in Gutti Hills and also in Gandikota Reservoir area. Parahypera bellarensis, which was thought extinct, is now rediscovered from Eastern Ghats. Well, some of the endemic taxa, which you all know here. Well, these are some of the photographs. You can see Sadashivaya here on the left side. It is a red sanders, the pride of Eastern Ghats. That is why it occurs only in Eastern Ghats, nowhere else. Well, we brought out a book on Eastern Ghats, this particular book. Well, red sanders was published by Springer. Well, some of the endemic taxa to Eastern Ghats are Justicia nilgirensis. This is the photograph. Croton scabiosus. Remember, this is occurs only in Kadapa Hills. Croton scabiosus is endemic to Kadapa Hills. This is Hildegardia populifolia, Dalibodagal chetu. Flower of this plant, and so you can go to Penchalakona, find out new plant, and then describe this new species. This is once again Brachysteelma. This is Brachysteelma Pullaiah. Well, our students are very kind enough to name this plant in my name, Brachysteelma Pullaiah. This is from Nalamalai Hills, described by Ravi Rao. This photograph was shared by Dr. Sadashivaya. And this is Brachysteelma Jadcherla Prasanna, Prasad and Prasanna. You can see the beauty of these flowers, especially the petals and the indumentum in there. Well, this is Brachysteelma cilium, described by Arakkal from Karnataka, but also it is found in Andhra Pradesh. This is Eastern Ghats. So coming to Orissa, well, what are the restricted taxa? Bulbophyllum panigrahianum, Dimeria monae, Electrostis nairi, area megasaniensis, Eustaris giftae, Ficus consina, Habenaria panigrahiana. Well, this Habenaria panigrahiana was also described from Telangana, from Mahabunagar district as Habenaria ramayana, but now it became synonym. Only few months difference between. So rule of priority has gone to Mishra, so it is Habenaria panigrahiana. Homonaria intermedia, Liparis SPGY, Liparis Udai, Milletia Odissa, Clistantha, this is orchid, Odissa, Clistantha, Pusidanum, Nagpurense, Themeda saxicola, Tripoga, Mahengriensis, Varia incinata, Zunzei Dimeria mahindra Dimeria Oryza japorensis. Please remember, Oryza rice has originated from Eastern Ghats. Please remember this. Our crops, whatever you are cultivating now, were originally in forest, growing naturally. The rice was growing naturally in Eastern Ghats. I repeat, rice was growing naturally in Eastern Ghats, even now also. So one such species is Oryza japorensis. Other species in Andhra Pradesh are Oryza malampogensis, Oryza querctata, Oryza mayeriana. These are the three species which occur in Nalamalais. Come Gundla Brahmeshwaram. You can see wild Oryza naturally in the forest. They are useful for breeding purpose. Remember, I'll come back to that use if time permits. Well, restricted taxa in Tamil Nadu are Brachystemas saldane, Caparis chevariensis, Caparis Quillimalayana, Quadia damanajvai, Deris machae, Dimeria Quillimalayana, then Elacaris babiae, Hepatus pygmaea. These are some of the species which are endemic, restricted to Tamil Nadu only. Well, this is a species which was collected almost after 100 years after the type collection by Brachystemas brevitubulatum. Remember, this is a species which was collected from Tamil Nadu, especially Vellore district by scientist who is now in USA. He was from FLHT, but now moved to USA. Well, this is Brachystemas saldane, once again from Tamil Nadu. This is Vito and Bella back. I told you, Dimerphocalix carnolensis. This is a female plant, got mixed up. Well, you may ask me, what is the use of these plants? Let me come to one straight example. I'm thirsty. I'll ask all of you, what do you drink? Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola. Remember, what do you get? After 1 year, you will get cancer. Remember, remove your tooth, put your water, it will be there for 100 years. Put there in Pepsi, Cola, Thumbs Up. 1 month, it soft, becomes soft. 1 year, 1 month, it melts. So point is, don't drink Pepsi or Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up. Drink only local drinks. One such drink is Nannari. This is a plant with, remember Nannari, it has 3-hydroxy-4-methoxybenzaldehyde. It is available only in South India. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Only, nowhere else in the world. It has highly, remember, antioxidant properties, hepatoprotective properties, blood purifying properties, etc. We don't drink. We always think, modern. What is modern? Drinking and getting cancer. That is what. Just now I am editing one chapter on cancers. And remember, modern habits are brought. So our traditional uses, this is Nannari called as cool drink. You can drink also like, vitamin C containing any citrus juices like Nimbu Pani or Batai or Chini or any such vitamin C containing ones. So don't drink any Pepsi or Thumbs Up or Coca-Cola. This is Then let me go to another plant. Yeah, this is people are becoming health conscious. They want to be zero size, not fat. And one such, I went to America. My tummy is getting fatter. I went to drugstore and asked him, drug fellow, can I become slim? He gave me some tablets, the pills. And I asked, what are the pills? Pills are, I repeat, pills are, remember, Slimaluma or Calalima. 30 pills, $22. Where is the plant? Plant is not there in America. Be careful. Plant is not there in America. Plant is there in Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, remember, etc. Dry regions of these particular regions. For example, even in Mahabunagar also it occurs. It is called as Keralima fimbriata. Remember, this is a plant. Why it is anti-obesity plant? Remember why it is zero size plant? Called as because it is appetite suppressor. Remember, it suppresses hunger. So with the result, you don't eat food. So eat such plants and you get slim. Similarly, aloe vera, everywhere in Hyderabad, you find hoardings, huge hoardings on aloe vera. And that aloe vera is being cultivated, of course, it is a Mexican plant, but is being cultivated everywhere in India in large scale. And whatever that you say, plant or herbal, aloe vera comes. And that is the plant here. So point is, all those plants are there in India, biodiversity. So this is that plant, Slimalima, risk-free trial. Remember, Slimalima, Janaslim, many of these things, right? Then another plant that I would like to bring to your kind notice is Eastern Ghats. Tribal people in Khammam, Mahaboobnagar, Rampachodawaram, Eastern Ghats, Tamil, Srikakulam, Vijayanagaram, Visakhapatnam, etc. They collect water from streams only. They don't have potable water. So they collect water from streams. But in rainy season, the water becomes muddy. So what do? They take seeds of this particular plant called as Strychnos potatorum, chilla ginjalu. They make paste with these seeds. They don't make powder because they are very hard. So they rub on the surface, makes this paste in the water. They collect water in a pot, huge pot, and then mix this paste in this water, and the whole mud along with the bacteria, virus settle down at the bottom. So remember, but settle down at the bottom. With the result, it is free. So why do you use RO water? You use Chillaginjalo. Bombay Municipal Corporation is purchasing 20,000 tons from Girijan Cooperative Corporation from both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and cleaning the water in Mumbai. So point is, our own Eastern Ghats have lot of such useful things from all. Well, this is another plant which you must be knowing, Strychnos naxvomica. You must be knowing about naxvomica. There's strychnine and bucine. Well, this is now, Anandaya from Nellore is giving, medicine for COVID. And he says, this is, remember, what is he doing? He is doing immune boosting plants. Remember, immune boosting, whatever. It's not a medicine, it's an immune boosting, so that, our immunity gets supported by giving. And what is the immune boosting plants? Plants are, your curcuma from Telangana. Remember, turmeric. And it is grows plenty. Whereas vitamin C, turmeric, vitamin D, all this come from, your Usirikayalu. They come, Usiri is, immune boosting, gingiber, curcuma. All these are immune boosting plants. And what he is doing is doing immune boosting plants. So point is, in COVID time, well, when I was in MSc, I went to with my teacher, for a botanical tour to Eastern Ghats, and I could find Rauwolfia serpentina plenty at that time, way back in 1971, 72. But after 20 years, I went to Eastern Ghats, I could not find some Rauwolfia serpentina. Gone. Remember, gone. So people have collected. This contains serpentine and lyserpine alkaloids, and they are very, very useful for especially treating patients, especially who are violent patients. To calm down, this lyserpine serpentine is used. Violent behaviors patients are treated with this serpentine. There's a lot of alkaloids, plenty of alkaloids, asmalacine, lyserpine, serpentine, many of these things are there. And this is a plant which is now being cultivated also. Now wild plants are all gone, and then it is being cultivated. Another plant in Eastern Ghats is Podapatri, Gymnema sylvestre. Put the leaves, chew it, and then put sugar in your mouth, and then you don't get sugar taste. So point is, this is useful, and this is in Eastern Ghats. And this is a treatment, gymnemic acid, treatment for diabetes. Well, this is a plant which I have taken, in Eastern Ghats, especially from Mahaboobnagar and other things. Well, when I first went to Gani Forest with my student, Raju. Oh, Raju, here is a new plant, and I hugged it and I had it. After 5 minutes, I have to scratch my body because it contains, remember, histamine. Irritating hairs are there. This is called as mucuna pruriens. It is very irritating. After half an hour, I have to run back to my guest house to leave all my clothes. Even after washing also, the hairs are not getting removed. So they are so powerful. But remember, it's a highly medicinal plant. It has dopa, L-dopa. Dopamine is a medicine for Parkinson's disease. You can find, in Telangana also, in Vikarabad, all the districts of Telangana, you find this particular plant called as mucuna pruriens of leguminous. You can see the S-shaped fruits. It is L-dopa, dopamine. It is being cultivated in several places now. Of course, not irritating fruits also have been developed from this plant, and now that is being grown by. Well, this is a plant called as Dioscorea. Perhaps many of you know about Dioscoreas. Mala D, family planning and birth control pill is being used by 80 million women a day.
Deepu?
That comes mainly, of course, for the first time came from plant called as Dioscorea mexicana diasgenin. Steroidal saponin is there. This plant, there are several species, almost half a dozen species of Dioscoreas are there. Oppositifolia, Pentaphylla, Bulbifera, etc. Remember, these Dioscoreas, left-handed twining, right-handed twining. Professor Subbarao from Andhra University told me that only left-handed twining Dioscoreas have diasgenin, right-handed twining Dioscoreas have no diasgenin. So you can use, so nature has shown you how to have family planning, not by modern methods, by traditional methods with this particular plant. So point is, this plant has in Eastern Ghats called as Dioscorea. It has diasgenin, steroidal saponin. It's a drug for your family planning and birth control. It's a $1 billion business. Well, this is a plant. Ippa, remember, many of you must be knowing in Telangana because the tribal people are very fond of both flowers and fruits are used to make Ippa sarai, one of the highly medicinal drink. And then of course, sarai is always not good, but his drink is good for health. Well, this is a plant which I have taken this from Khambum. If you go from Rampachodavaram to Bhadrachalam, you can find this particular plant called as Entada Perseta. It's almost 2 kilometer long plant. It is a lion and it is almost 1 meter long fruit. You can see the gigantic nature of this lion. It is a pride of Eastern Ghats. A seed is almost size of a paperweight. Well, they are considered as emetic, antiperiodic, anthelmintic, and contains saponins used for treatment of many uses are there. Well, coming back to Eastern Ghats, as I told you, we published a book on recently last year, Orchids of Eastern Ghats. These are some of the books. Well, these are narrow endemic to Eastern Ghats, which I already told you. Yeah, let me show you the photographs. Elophia epidendria. Earlier I listed, I have shown only list, but here there are Elophia epidendria, Elophia flava, Elophia graminea, Elophia speciosa, Elophia ocreata, then Habanera classicolia, Cumicolia, Fursifera, Grandiflora, Diphylla. You can see the beauty of Melaxis vesicolor, Nervalia aragona. You can see the beauty of the, remember, Nervalia infundibularifolia. You can see the leaves also so designed, color, Nervalia picata. Well, coming to the other aspects of this, endemism, as I told you, 160 species, 160 belong to 43 families. Here I have shown you red sanders. Well, other red endemic plants are Dicastrica coronifolia, Pimpinella tirupatiensis. Remember, professors from Usmania, from SV University sent a specimen to Boston Survey of India. They named it as Pimpinella tirupatiensis without describing the tuber. So when you are sending to be other people, please identify the plant. There you know sending. Well, this is hydropractile Cullimaliensis. Remember, this is another umbellifera or APSA member. It is Karupaswamy described this new plant, new species from Cullimaliensis. Well, red listed plants. Red data book. I have told you about plant, earlier. Hildegardia populifolia is a red listed plant, but here are some of the red listed plants. Red data book. All of you must be knowing about red data book, which are endangered or listed in this particular plant book. These are Acaranthus coinei, Bulbophyllum catense, Caparis chevroiensis. These are some of the plants now photographs of this. Lucas Mukherjiana, Vanillandia anguisfolia, Vinco chevrolet, Dimia congesta, Vanilla whitiana. This is, remember, Vanilla whitiana is in Khammam, East Godavari district. That particular belt, Pimpinella tirupatiensis, as I told you, in Tirupati Hills. Vanilla whitiana is a leafless orchid, and it can be used for. Well, this is Jadcherla TS-Prof, a new species described recently by Prasad from BSI. This is Jadcherla TS-Prof, differs from Cycas bedomai in several aspects. Well, this is what I was telling you about Pimpinella tirupatiensis. In the protologue, this tuber is not described. Now this occurs in Tirumala Hills. Well, as I told you, we brought out 7-volume Flora of Eastern Ghats. You can see on my background in all my books, some of my books, we have published more than 100 books. I request you to join. Remember, we are now bringing 10-volume book on medicinal plants, bioactives, and pharmacology of medicinal plants. You are welcome to join. We are bringing out every year at least 10 books. And now books are, as you know, your teacher has told you, they are being published by Springer, Elsevier, Willie, Blackwell, CRC, Taylor and Francis, etc. And this is volume 3 and 4. This is volume 5. Then 6 and 7 also has come. Well, Karup Swami, then several other people have joined in bringing out these books. Well, our books are there in the whole world. Well, you can find all my books in the biggest library, the Library Congress in Washington, D.C. This is in New York Botanical Garden. You can see Medak District, you can see here. Remember, this is Medak District. Well, this is other district floras. You can see, this is in New York Botanical Garden Library. These are some of the books. More books are there in the racks. This is Flora of Old Andhra Pradesh. You can see the Flora of Andhra Pradesh, trees of Andhra Pradesh, Flora of Andhra Pradesh, and other district floras. So point is, our books are being bought by international reputed libraries, and then, so it's not because of Pullaiah, it is because of the resources that we have. 2/3 of the resources, 3/4 of the resources are in tropical countries, but 3/4 of the outcome of research is from Western countries. So please remember that you have to try. Well, another plant. Well, this is a plant called as tree fern. You always think that ferns are only this much size. No, this is a tree fern, which is Cyathea spinosa, Cyathea pinita, Cyathea, other species. This is in Khammam, between, you can find, between Rampachoravam, Tigela, etc. and Visakhapatnam. Remember, now, here bauxite. Jindal is going to mine bauxite, and then after some time, you may lose this. Cyathea spinosa is there in Eastern Ghats. After some years, you may not find this particular plant because they are going to mine bauxite in this particular place, and you may lose this particular species. This is 1.5 meter long leaf, almost 2 meters tall plant. 1.5 meter. Don't think that is a small plant. It is 1.5 meter long leaf. Well, Bryophytes. In my teacher, I used to tell Viksha Market. Oh, sorry. What happened?
Hello. Sir.
Sorry. Got mixed up. Saraswaya, share. Something is wrong.
Hello?
Yeah, just a minute. Share back.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Yeah. Share, right, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I used to teach, my students only rickshaw, mercantia, polytrichum, etc. To my horror, till we started working on Eastern Ghats, there is not a single paper, I repeat, not even a single publication on Bryophytes of Eastern Ghats, Telangana, and this. Horrible to know it. Except, Professor Rola Seshagara listed about 12 plants in East Godavari Flora in this Bryophyte, but there is no concise account. Except that publication, there is no mention anywhere in publications on Bryophyte. And then even after myself also, after 30 years I started working on this, and we found a startling, remember here, 95 taxa of Bryophytes, 94 species, 67 genera and 36 families. This is only Eastern Ghats, Andhra Pradesh only. Remember, this is only Eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh. I have not yet done, on other districts, other states. So this is only Eastern Ghats of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So this is only 94 species. So point is, remember here, this earlier I have shown you. I'm sorry, yeah. You can see the capsule is pointing downwards. This is one species of Bryum. This is capsule is pointing upwards. This is another species of Bryum. Remember, depending on this, whereas in capsule, yeah, you can see the capsules. Remember, this is sporocarps of some of the rickshaws and mercantias, etc. Well, this is Exarmotheca silanensis. You can see the capsule. You can see the capsules here. You can see the capsules here. Exarmotheca silanensis. Well, this is not from internet. We have taken the photographs. 8 members, me, my wife, scholars, one photographer, we went, and we went the whole braving the Naxalites in Rampachoravan. On the day when we collected these plants, there is a storming by the police people, and we were not allowed, but still we collected this particular, this is, you can see the receptacles, bristles, receptacle. This is Jadcherla hirsuta. Well, till you can see the beauty of the flower of the callus. Jadcherla hirsuta, receptacles with bristles. Well, you can see Annura pinguis. You can see the sporophyte. Remember, this is a gametophyte and this is a sporophyte. You can see the capsule. Annura pinguis. You can see is in a hand, so small. You can see the hand, my hand. And this is so small. Well, you all know about Anthoceras. Well, Anthoceras is not a European plant. It is Anthoceras is there in Eastern Ghats. This is Anthoceras. You can see the sporophyte, how from Bryophytes, Pterophytes have evolved from Anthoceras to Rhynia, etc. This is how evolution. You can see the sporophytes, and these are the gametophytes. You can see how continuously growing sporophyte is there. Whereas this is the gametophyte. This is Anthoceras, Eastern Ghats. Well, you can see, I told you, capsules pointing downwards, pointing upwards, capsule parallel. This is Bryum coronatum. Bryum, earlier one is capillary, whereas this is coronatum pointing downwards. So this is, you can see the Bryums, 6 species of Bryum are there. We also worked on, fauna. These are photographs taken by our scholars in the Tummalpalli ranging area, including Dr. Sadasivaya. You can see we worked on animals also. This is star tortoise. It costs 1 lakh rupees, in Southeast Asia. Several thousands of them are being smuggled from Bangalore airport and other places, from Hyderabad airport. And this is 1 lakh specimen, star tortoise. This is golden gecko. Once again, Sadasivaya and other scholars, have worked on these particular animals, and they discovered several new things, here. This is one golden gecko, which is endemic to this particular area. Well, these are some, this is not from internet, remember. Sadasivaya, other scholars, in the project, Tummalpalli area, we worked on this particular, Raja Kulai Swami and then Amarnath have taken these photographs. These are the birds. As Madam was telling, this is. And the training for Sadasivaya came from us, remember, from Sri Krishnadevara University. And we used to, as he was telling, at Sri Krishnadevara University, around 3 kilometers, we caught 660 snakes in 1 year and left in the forest, and without killing them, right? Well, you all know about, Porakalo, Pullala Porakalo. When I was knowing, what is the species, please remember, your Pullala Porakalo Chipurlu. Pullala Porakalo Chipurlu is Aristidas cetacea. Remember, Aristidas cetacea, it comes from Eastern Ghats. Aristidas cetacea comes from Eastern Ghats.
కట్టం తీయాడా కట్టం తీయాలి అక్కడ ఆ రూమ్ Then
And namaste to everyone there who is participating there. Just please let me share my PPT. Just 1 minute.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Just a minute.
Sir, any problem, sir?
Yeah, it is there on my computer. Just let me leave the meeting for.
So we will wait for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because there is a small technical issue from another speaker of Dr. K.Thulsi Rao. Please bear with us. Ramakrishna, sir. P.V. Ramakrishna, sir. Sir, are you there? Hello. Sir, how are you, sir? Sir, would like to speak anything on this occasion? Please. Sir, introduce yourself and speak, sir.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Right.
My name is Ram Krishna. I am working as Forest Divisional Officer. Presently, I am posted as Deputy Director at Telangana State Forest Academy. And good morning to all. And I once again congratulate the organizers of this national webinar. Really, it's a wonderful session. Meanwhile, Sadashiva garu gurinchi cheppalante when I was at Vanaparthi during 2009 to 2014, we had an opportunity to work together in the field of biodiversity conservation around Vanaparthi area. To start with, we have taken up small programs in schools and college, and we have taken up planting programs, rescue of snakes, and awareness programs. So we worked together for 5 to 6 years. Then I have been to Forest Academy and working as Deputy Director at Forest Academy now. పోతే ముఖ్యంగా సదాశివ గారి గురించి చెప్పాలంటే ఎవరైనా సరే మనము అంటే స్టూడెంట్స్లో బయోడైవర్సిటీ పట్ల ఒక అవేర్నెస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అనేది నిజంగా అద్భుతంగా పనిచేస్తున్నారు.
Ramakrishna sir, please English. So many other people are there. Please, sir.
Sir. really, we have to appreciate your efforts, sir. You have done a wonderful work at Vanaparthi and also at Jadcherla, sir. So after formation of this ABCD, Association for Biological Conservation and Development Organization, we have taken up a number of programs at Vanaparthi and as well Mayuna district. And almost, I think, more than 540 schools have been covered, where we could explain about the necessity and conservation of biodiversity. And I am very happy to work with you. And nowadays, we know the importance of biodiversity conservation. So internationally, we are celebrating today the Biodiversity Conservation Day. And on this occasion, I thank you and I wish all the participants who are working for biodiversity conservation here. So thank you once again, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramakrishna sir. Now, our K.Thulsi Rao sir is ready. Sir, are you hearing, sir? K.Thulsi Rao sir? Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Hello, could you able to see me now?
Yes, sir, it is audible and visible also.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, please go.
Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me as a keynote speaker today. And before I start, let me congratulate Professor Pullaiah garu. He has given an elaborate lecture about the floral assemblages in the Eastern Ghats especially. So I would restrict myself only to the zoological part of the Eastern Ghats, and that too theme-based, and also my practical approach of the management of these species in the national parks, sanctuaries, and the forested areas. I had an opportunity to work in the AP Forest Department for 40 years and also associated with many projects and all these things. I thank very much my parent department, Forest Department, and also the government made me to stay continuously at one particular point in Nalamalai, that is the largest part of the Eastern Ghats, for 18 long years. That is actually all group 1 officers are supposed to be transferred every third year. But in my entire landmass has been delineated about 12 regions, and one among them is the Indian region also. So India is situated as in a trijunction point, that is a Palearctic realm, Afrotropical, and Indo-Malaysian realm. So it assumes the characters of all the 3 realms of the world. That's how India has become one of the richest 19 richest mega biodiversity centers of the world. So coming to these biogeographical realms, I don't need to elaborate it because you're all learned people, so I'll skip it up. And coming to the Indian situation, we all know that in the northern side we have the Himalayas, on either side of the east and west we have the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So Himalayas are unbroken, and it continues from the north to the northeast area, and it has got high amount of the endemism. So also the Western Ghats, it has been described by many authors, described by many academicians, and also many managers. Okay, but coming to the Eastern Ghats, not much work has been done, and it has not been recognized by the government about the endemicity or about the rich diversity of the both floral and faunal assemblages. Unlike the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats are broken at many places because the Indian landmass has tilted towards the east, from west to east. So all the rivers that originated from the Western Ghats, they join in the Bay of Bengal, cutting across the Eastern Ghats. So noted among them are mostly the Mahanadi, and Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri rivers. These are the things. And India, as I told you, one of the 19 mega biodiversity centers. It occupies about 32,87,000 square kilometers and has got about 8,200 kilometers coastline, including the islands. And also it has the 18 biosphere reserves, 103 national parks, and 537 plus sanctuaries, and 67 conservation reserves, and 26 community reserves, and protected area network we have about 733. And we have about 21.34% of forest area, geographical area. But as you see through the satellite images, we'll find only less than 10% of dense forested area. And it has got good diversity because India receives two monsoons, northwest and southeast rainfall, and also it has got varying altitudes and latitudes and excellent topographic features we have, and wide range of ecozones we have, and it contains deserts, mountains, highlands, tropical and temperate forests, swamplands, grasslands, riverine. So different varieties of ecozones we have. That has given rise different varieties of. It has given different species of faunal assemblages also, and we have about 4 biodiversity hotspots: Himalayas, Western Ghats, and Northeast, Nicobar Islands, and about 96,614 faunal species we have. That contributes about 6.78% of the world, and of which 47,147,000 are plant species, mammals are 5,416, primates 16, apes 2,123 species, reptilia 530 species, fish about 3,200 species, like this. So we have also numerous threatened and endemic species, and it is the world's 7th largest land area and Asia's 2nd largest area. And it's a great diversity of natural ecosystems, and 16 major types of forest types we have: tropical wet evergreen forest, tropical semi-evergreen, tropical moist and dry deciduous forest, littoral swamps, thorny and dry evergreen forest. We also have subtropical broadleaf forest, subtropical pines and subtropical dry evergreen forest. Also have mountain temperate, Himalayan moist temperate, and Himalayan dry temperate, and subalpine forest we have. So because of the diversity in the flora, we have diversified faunal assemblages. And as a forest officer, it is our duty. The duty of the forest department is to manage all the natural resources, natural forests, natural the faunal assemblages. That's the duty of the forest department. I had an opportunity to work in the forest department, and it enriched my knowledge and also my experience. So we take up the conservation as a protection, preservation, management, and restoration of the wildlife and which are natural habitats. And through conservation of biodiversity and survival of many species and habitats which are threatened due to human activities can be ensured. So we had a practical examples in Nalamalai region, how we have managed biodiversity in Nalamalai, the largest part of the Eastern Ghats. That I will be explaining in subsequent slides. So therefore there is an urgent need not only to manage and conserve the biodiversity well, but also restore all the degraded ecosystems. So we had an opportunity. We have, I'm a member of 2 very important organizations situated in Hyderabad, CGR and also GRACE. GRACE means Green Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats. So recently we have drafted an excellent book that is known as Eastern Ghats Environmental Outlook, inaugurated by our ex-president, Pranab Mukherjee, with his own hands. We are seeing also here. And it contains every aspect of the Eastern Ghats, an overview of the Eastern Ghats. So also, before drafting the this overview, we traveled extensively all the 5 states of the country, as Eastern Ghats country, Eastern Ghats regions. That's starting from Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu regions, and we documented a lot of knowledge and experience of the people over there. What you are seeing here, the picture down below, the left side, that is the meeting point of the Eastern Ghats with the Western Ghats area. That's in the Biligiri Rangan Tiger Reserve area, where what you are seeing in the opposite direction is the Western Ghats and right side is the Eastern Ghats. In between you are seeing the Shola forest. So that's how it has got right from the Himalayas down south up to Nilagiri mountains. The Eastern Ghats are extended. So coming to the largest part of the Eastern Ghats, that is the Nallamalai forest. Here you are seeing in the red square. So I'm showing here the northern Eastern Ghats. That is the very important area. That is the tiger land, both in Andhra Pradesh and presently now in Telangana, as the Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve and also as the Amravati Tiger Reserve. Down south of it, you are also seeing Gundla Brahmeshwara Wildlife Sanctuary, a paradise for the biodiversity. And down south, you are seeing the corridors of Veligunda, Palagunda, connecting to the Seshachalam Hills. So here, the Eastern Ghats region is connected, especially the Nallamalai to Seshachalam and then to the Eastern Ghats of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka area, though it is broken at different places. And by building of the corridors, I think we can definitely allow the migration of the species from north to south, south to north. Now the population of the tigers are proliferating in the northern side, and space has been crunched. And now the surplus animals are migrating towards the southern parts of the Nallamalai, southern part of the northern part of the Seshachalam Hills. Now the population is increasing. So also in the Telangana region, once we had declared in the combined state, the Telangana region is totally zero for the tigers, and slowly the population has spread into the Telangana region also. Now the tigers are proliferating. See, why I'm talking about the tigers, when I'm talking about the tiger, it means talking about the entire range of the biodiversity. Biodiversity here, the tigers represent the apex, as an apex animal, it represents the entire range of the biodiversity of the area. So, coming to the Gundla Brahmeshwara Wildlife Sanctuary, it's a paradise for biodiversity. We could able to describe many new faunal species from this region also. And to the right of it, to the left of it, we have a small sanctuary is known as Great Indian Bustard Sanctuary, Rolapadu Wildlife Sanctuary. It is a host sanctuary for the Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard is to be seen and not only Kurnool, Prakasham, Anantapur and Kadapa, Mahabubnagar districts. It was also seen in the Rangareddy district. In the present Samshabad airport, I could able to locate them in the Samshabad airport in 2011. Because of the destruction of the grasslands for various purposes, for house plots, for irrigation, all these things, now the population has dwindled. This is the exclusive Indian subcontinent bird species, now highly endangered. In early 1900s or mid 1900s, there used to be about 50,000 Great Indian bustards used to hover in the skies. Now the population is less than 100 numbers. That is mostly you are seeing in the Rajasthan desert area. And we are sharing the population with the Pakistan, where it is being hunted by the shikaris there. In Kurnool district, we have an exclusive sanctuary allocated for this, for the proliferation of the Great Indian bustard. We could able to, my PhD is on the breeding biology of the Great Indian bustard. I think it's the first of its kind where the breeding biology of this Great Indian bustard has been studied very much in detail, for which I got my PhD. And coming to the southern part, still, you are seeing the red sand is forested areas. Red sand is an exclusive Indian species, not seen anywhere else in the world. Exclusive Indian species, that too in Andhra Pradesh, restricted only to the Kadapa, Chitturu, and little parts of the Kurnool and Prakasam districts. It is sought over, highly valuable species, and coming to the Jadcherla mills, Jadcherla mill also has a lot of endemic species, and new species have been discovered by my disciples also in this region. And looking at the larger parts of the ecosystems in Eastern Ghats, they're mostly of semi-evergreen to moist deciduous and dry deciduous and dry evergreen forests. This one, now you are seeing a mosaic of forested ecosystem. There is a large representative ecosystems, and geologically very valuable, biological, culturally, and religious and scenic values. It has an exceptional medicinal plant diversity. During 1998, we have made a detailed inventory of the medicinal plants and involving all the universities from Andhra Pradesh, and we could able to discover about inventories about 350 species of medicinal plant diversity. There are many endemic and endangered flora and fauna in the Eastern Ghats, and still there are rich unexplored biodiversity still available, and also it's a lifeline to the indigenous tribals for fuel, fodder, and non-wood forest produce, and for grass and all these things. And also the Eastern Ghats are a large upland catchment area for the lowland plains. It receives rainfall and drains to the plains, and thus it contributes large amount of water bodies to the down south. Now what you are seeing is the combined tiger project of both Andhra Pradesh present and Telangana area. The river Krishna cutting in the middle of the this tiger reserve, and the northern part is the Andhra Pradesh Tiger Reserve, and southern part is the Amravati Tiger Reserve. That's how the habitat look like in the Eastern Ghats in most of the areas. So also in the Nalamalais, you have, because the geological formations are Archean rock formations and lots of shales are there, soil is very shallow. That's why you're not finding a very dense forest here. Almost the trees are like a dotted trees. And also we have plenty of water bodies available, especially because of the river Krishna cutting across the forested area here. And also you are seeing lots of seasonal waterfalls, because as I told you, it's a large catchment area. It contributes a lot of water bodies, and all these things are seasonal water, and also perennial water bodies are also there, both in Andhra side and also Telangana side. Because of this large water bodies accumulating both from the Krishna and Tungabhadra, government has constructed a dam across, and it is contributing both for irrigation and also hydroelectric electricity. And what you are seeing now is the, are you able to see my presentation?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is the kind of landscape we have in Eastern Ghats, especially this is the Srisailam part of landscape, where you can find the geographical structure, both vertical and horizontal also you can find it, vegetal, and also the different kinds of benefits that accrue because of the forest of the ecosystem. You find this kind of large escarpments, large gorges all along that, and in the slopes you'll find a profuse grass production. This is the lifeline for the cattle. Many cattle from the plains, about more than 3 lakhs cattle, they migrate into these forested areas during the hot summer season, where they don't find any grass in the plain areas. That's how it also supporting the domestic animal population. Also along the river Krishna and other rivers, you also find different kinds of dense different kinds of caves. Now we are seeing the large escarpment and also large span of a single monolith stone about 50 meters long and supported by a nicely carved pillar-like things. These are not carved or no architecture is involved in that. It is a natural formations because when it rains on the uplands, water used to flow through these caves, and it used to erode all the sandstones and giving rise a kind of a pillar like these things. Here you will find lots of cave animals inside, and you also find such a big and large, huge, tall, lofty trees in the Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are no way inferior to the Western Ghats. It has got every quality that the Western Ghats composed of. So we have in the Nallamalais, we have enumerated, inventorized. These are some of the floral species, about more than 100 species, and medicinal plants, as I told you, 350 species, and 29 species of grasses, and of which there are critical endangered species about 10, and endangered 21, vulnerable species 27. Mostly this is composed of teak forests. The southern part, the Eastern Ghats are mostly, except the Orissa part, Orissa Chhattisgarh, where you will find the sal forest. Sal and teak. Teak is a transitional belt along the Sukuma, along the Andhra Pradesh, Orissa and Chhattisgarh border. And south of it, you will find only the teak. You don't find the sal forest, except the sal in Andhra Pradesh. You mostly will find the teak, that is called Tectona grandis, and we have plenty of 10 million tomatas. There's a crocodile bark trees. 10 million bellerica, Lagostemia parviflora, Chlorozum swietinia. That gives lot of revenue to the people. Boswellia serrata, Soemida, Maduka indica, Buchnania langifolia, latifolia, Butea monosperm, Dendrocalamus strictus. These are plenty. This gives a lot of revenue to the, not only for the forest department, even to the local people. And these are some of the floral assemblages we have. And also we have different types of forest types. Tropical moist deciduous, dry deciduous, scrub forest, savanna forest, and this is a woodland savannas actually is called. And we have, as I told you, these are the different species competition is already described by our Professor Pullaiah. So I will skip all these things because it takes a lot of time, because already it has been detailed by our professor. And we also have Orchis epiphytes, parasites in this area, Vanda tessellata, Dendrocta falcata, Taxila stomentosa, like these things. And many more things have been identified by the Krishnadevara University scholars and also professors. And all thanks to them for their stupendous work in this belt. And also, as is already told, Andrographis nallamalayana has been described from this Nallamalais and Euphorbia ladyforia, Nallamalayana, total area Madhurensis. These are some of the things already been told by our professor. So coming to the fauna, I would like to go in detail about the fauna because this is my profession, this is my fascination, this is my, I have a lot of studies made in this faunal side. We have the apex animal species, land animal carnivore, the apex species. The tiger is the apex animal, followed by the panther and followed by the wild dogs and hyenas. These are some of the topmost carnivore species seen mostly in the entire Eastern Ghats belt, and also the apex species in the avian fauna is the Brahminic kite and other kites also there. In the aquatic region, mostly these are all freshwater crocodiles we have. Crocodile, we have both estuarine and freshwater. Crocodiles polystrus, crocodiles porous. The estuarine crocodile now got extinct because of the killing by the fishermen in these areas. The last was captured and we have reared it in the Indira Gandhi Zoological Park. It's the largest crocodile in this area. And these are some of the inventories we made about the most of this Eastern Ghats part, and you're seeing different mammals, apes, reptiles, amphibia, and we have made a detailed inventory of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region about the faunal species when it was in the combined state, and I will give you a detailed account of these things. We have the tiger, leopard, leopard cat also we have, Indian wolf, wild dog, jackal, and herbivores we have the spotted deer, sambas, barking deer, chinkara, chausinga, nilgais, and also we have the antelopes. We have four-horned antelope, and also we have the black bucks we have, and other smaller carnivores of honey badgers, smooth-eared otters, small-eared civets, and all these small sloth bear. These are some of the animal species composition, and we made a detailed account. We made a detailed inventory of the Nalamalai and Sasastal regions. I am presenting at present because I could not able to update it because of the shortage of the time. And these are some of the insect species, different orders, and all these things. And arachnids. We have made a detailed account of arachnids, and that has been published by the occasional records by the Geological Survey of India. And detailed work has been done on the arachnid fauna and others, amphibians. We have made it detailed work on the reptiles and the apes and migratory species, mammalian species, like this. And new species, to our credit, we have described Poecilotheria nallamalacensis, K.Thulsi, after my name, and also Marus salamensis, K.Thulsi, Phrynicus andarensis, wish spider, that's also there, and Metachromasis nigroephemerita, that's also described. So new to the world, new to the country, new to the eastern Western Ghats and Himalayas. These are some of the new species, and many more species are on the line. These are the species. If all these things are photographed in the Eastern Ghats only, so the population of the herbivores are proliferating like anything, and so also black bugs, and people now. Hello? Hello?
You're audible, sir.
Audible, okay. Okay. Now you are seeing people are complaining against the proliferation of some of these animals, especially black bug, saying that it is damaging the crops and all these things. And we have taken lots of measures to contain this animal population with a very novel way that I will be sharing in detail. And during our inventory, we have reported some Western Ghats species not been reported in the Eastern Ghats, and first report from the Andhra Pradesh in the country, and Himalayan species not reported elsewhere in the South India, and we have reported species reported from the Nalamalais for the first time. First report the Eastern Ghats to the country, and there are still unidentified species new to the Nalamalais. So these are some of the species we have inventorized. Western Ghats species, first report to Andhra Pradesh, some of the Himalayan species, Cyprophis sagittaria, Cantus black-headed snakes, and some species reported one exclusive to Nalamalais, first report to the Eastern Ghats in the country, unidentified species. And these are the first records of the fauna from Andhra Pradesh, from Arachnida, spiders. So I will give you a detailed account of these spiders. Pardon?
Yes, sir. You go on, sir.
Yeah, these are the mantids, varieties of mantids from the Eastern Ghats. These are some of the reptiles, and Geochelan elegans. That is a star tortoise is being smuggled from the Eastern Ghats. This is a dry animal species, and seen only in the in India and Sri Lanka only. And a detailed breeding biology has been studied by me as early as 1980s and submitted to the work. And it has been rated. That was the first record of studies on the Geochelan elegans, and other studies also we made it. These are some of the amphibian species we found in the Eastern Ghats. And Callula taproban, you are seeing the painted Callula in the down below on the left side. It is a rare occasion when I was coming out from my laboratory, suddenly something fallen on my head. To my surprise, when I looked up, actually one kite, it was carrying it, and suddenly it escaped from its talons and fallen on me, and all these things. And mostly these pieces are, we have inventorized 365 days, all the seasons, day and night. So therefore, you could be able to inventory the major number of species from this Eastern Ghats area, and submitted our publications in most of the very reputed journals of the country and abroad. And these are some of the very important spiders. We all know that spiders are they are rendering invaluable service to the humankind, especially communities living in the Eastern Ghats. So there are orb-web spiders are there, Nephilias. See, now we are seeing the bottom side, first row bottom. So Nephilia maculata. This is a big orb-web spider. It makes its orb web between the trees, very big orb web. It filters all the pests that travel through into the crop areas and kill. And also you are seeing these are all invisible species. You may be seeing big trees, you may be seeing small vegetation, but you may be seeing bigger animals. But these are all very invisible creatures. So we studied both on the surface, under the litter, under the soil, and we could able to solve it. Now we are seeing the center. That's a scarecrow spider. See, it is looking like it's representing a human face. It has got nicely trimmed eyebrows, beautiful eyes, like a big mustache, like Chiranjeevi mustache, and also it has a pandit-like half-shaven head, and also on the forehead it has a trishul and crossbands, Vibhuti crossbands, telling us both Saivism and Vaishnavism one and the same. Why you fellows are fighting for each other, fighting with each other and all this. There's another spider, and there is in the south, in the third corner, we are seeing a Ganesh spider. It represents the Ganesh spider. In the down here, seeing the ant mimic spiders. There are varieties of spiders we have inventorized and published by Jadcherla. And there are threatened, endangered species that also we have given a list of these things here. And these are some of the rare species we could able to inventorize. Jumeral, black-headed snakes. This is the cousin of the Himalayan representative. And down below you are seeing the brown whip snake. Normally it looks like, we know the green whip snake, like as you see in the green color here. But brown whip snake, it looks like brown color, but when it is excited, the pattern, it exhibits this kind of pattern. So it's a rare photograph again. And also we have the highly deadly, dangerous pit viper, that is called bamboo pit viper. It looks like, color is a green color, and it mimics green whip snake and non-poisonous snake. But it's a deadly poisonous snake. Look at its head, it's a triangular head. And these are some of the species. And also you are seeing hornet wasps here, plenty of hornet wasps. See, it builds, it is an excellent architect, excellent civil engineer. It builds multi-story building kind of things, and it knows the thermodynamics of the physics. It also, while construction itself, it chews the dried leaves and twigs and combines with the saliva and builds its own nest without spending any external energy, without consuming any natural resources except the dried leaves and all these things. And when air passes through these vents, because of the adiabatic expansion and contraction, it creates its own air conditioning, and thus it enjoys at least 78 degrees difference of temperature from outside to inside. So these are some of the important things. And another component of the Eastern Ghats are the tribal communities, indigenous community, the Chenchus in the Nalamalais, reason. They're the primitive tribals. Still they're acting about the primitive way of livelihood. They're the food gatherers and hunters. And these people, they're very simple. They live in a small circular houses and very simple in their approach, and they do not accumulate any wealth. They do not bring any produce and save in the lean months. So whenever they feel hungry, they move in the forest, collect something, eat there, and come back home. This is the thing. Another tribe in this belt, we have the Lambadas. They're the pastoral community, and now because of the degradation of the habitat and all these things, these tribals, once they used to enjoy the luxury of the food and nutrition, now they are going for the cutting of the trees and all these things. A lot of smuggling is also taking place, and because of all these things, habitat is being degraded, and also excess removal for the gum tapping to carry to errands, and this tree has become highly endangered. And because unless all the members of the family go for the fishing or hunting and all these things, so they are unable to feed their house members. Even the young and children also, they go for the fishing. Keeping all these things in the mind, now I would like to give how we could able to manage. See, now you know that very important international events already held one international event. That's the Earth Day. Dhartri's Dinam is celebrated to pledge support for environmental protection on 22nd April this year. The theme is Restore Our Earth. And now today is our International Biodiversity Day. It's a larger initiative of international cooperation. Today's theme is we are part of the solution. We are not the part of the problem. We should not be the part of the problem. We should be the part of the solution. And I'll be elaborating how we could able to give the solution to the pertinent issues in this Eastern Ghats in my slides. And the next month, we are going to celebrate World Environment Day. The theme is ecosystem restoration. These three are very appropriate in this particular decade. And we have the international body, that is the Convention of Biological Diversity, we send the headquarters at the Montreal in Canada, and that gives the different kinds of suggestions, directions for the entire world community and following to manage these natural resources without any bias. So if you look at the themes of international biodiversity for the last 19 years, and this year is the 20th year, it talks all about the natural resource management, starting from 2000 onwards. It talks about the forest biodiversity, talks of the poverty alleviation of the people, and also talks about the food, water, and health, and also talks of the life insurance for the changing world, protect biodiversity in dry lands, and biodiversity and climate change related, biodiversity and agriculture, invasive alien species, biodiversity development, poverty reduction, forest biodiversity, marine biodiversity, water and biodiversity, island biodiversity, Convention Biological Diversity held in 2015. In 2012, India hosted in Hyderabad Biological Diversity Convention, and biodiversity and sustainable tourism celebrating 2018, celebrating 25 years of action for biodiversity, and 2019 our biodiversity, our food and health, and 2020 we are celebrating our solutions are in nature. Nature is a master scientist, master laboratory. There are lots of science, technology, sociology, whatnot. Every discipline, what you study in university, you'll find in the nature. So therefore, our solutions are already there in the nature. The only thing is we need to extract, we need to mimic, we need to learn. Before you could be able to learn from the nature, I think we are fast depleting the resources and will be the losers. Now, this year, we are the part, the theme is we are the part of the solution, that's for the nature. People complain that your wild animals are depredating the crops. People also say that your tiger and panthers are killing all our domestic animals. At the same time, the indigenous tribals, they protect these animals. Only the people living in the plain areas, they complain against the animals. But where are the indigenous tribes? They consider the tiger as their peddana. That's a big brother. See, once the tiger fell in a well, our Chinchu tribes, they informed us immediately in the night. Immediately we went there. We rescued the animal by constructing a ladder. By constructing a ladder with the help of our tribals, and we dropped the ladder, and the tiger climbed onto the top, and we were able to protect these animals. That's how the forest department immediately is taking steps in protecting this valuable, invaluable species. At times, these kind of things are happening when the people are going into forest for the collection of non-wood forest produce and also collection of the grass. When they assume the crouching shape, when they sit for cutting the grass and all these things, mistakenly the animals mistake that this is an animal close to the den and bounce upon the humans, and unnoticingly they kill it. And they don't eat, simply they just lick it and they leave it. See, these are the animals, they respect mostly the humans. They salute us because I can guarantee tell the world community that I lived with these animals continuously for 40-45 years in the jungles and stayed at one single place in Eastern Ghat, and never was, and I could able to see these animals very close proximity, about 10 feet distance, but never have been hurt by these animals. So whenever they enter into the villages, we go to the villages, we tranquilize the animals or put the traps, and we capture these animals and release them back into the remote areas of the forest. Thus, we contribute for the protection of the, ensure the safety of these animals. And there is a lot of complaint from the Kurnool district that these antelopes, especially the black buck, they're crop depredating the entire produce. So that time we cannot go for tranquilizing these animals because these are herbivore animals. Once you go for the tranquilizing, what happens? Immediately they regurgitate the eaten grass and all these things, and that goes into the wind tube, and they die immediately. This is a Schedule 1 animal. We cannot take chance. We cannot kill these animals, and ready-made solutions are not available. When the Chief Minister asked us to capture these animals, we informed that time the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu that this is a Schedule 1 animal and die of shock and all these things. But somehow that he could able to convince when he goes to the villages. But when the regime of Dr. Rajshekar came, he did not listen at us, and he wanted us to do some research and come forward with the solutions. Yes, by that time I've been doing the research in the Nalamalas. I have started work on this thing before, because we know that at any point of time this will definitely come onto our shoulders. So we have designed. That time we requested for the 3 helicopters from South Africa, something, or Canada or something. But that time people laughed at us, the ministers laughed at us. See, when we don't have a single helicopter for our Chief Minister, we are requesting for the 3 helicopters. Then the Chief Minister told them, yes, if it is needed, we will definitely provide it. And meanwhile, he asked us to go for some research with the indigenous technologies. And I am of the opinion that with no expenditure, very little expenditure with the indigenous technology, I think we can give the solutions. Now we could be able to give the solution, we could be able to capture 6,000 black buck and translate it about 350 kilometers distance to the safe distance and to the place where they used to be there in that particular area, from this area. Thus we could be able to give the practical solution to the farmers suffering from the crop depredation of antelopes. And this is a very big sign. Very big book has been drafted, and it needs a lot of precaution because this dies of shock and dies of cardiac arrest and all these things. We need to take lots of precautions, and taking all the precautions, and we translocated this animal in the night, captured these animals in the night using the searchlights and all these things. Previously, to protect our natural resources, we used to have the regulatory mechanism with the lattes and guns and all these things. And because the population is increasing, people's demands are also increasing, and no longer the regulatory mechanism only will help. So unless we take the people into the confidence, then we started participatory management of the forest resources, combined with the research and extension. We have started a beautiful biodiversity research laboratory in the wild in Eastern Ghats, and that has been rated as the first of its kind in the world itself by the Biodiversity Apex Institute, that is CBD, and they have also recorded in the visitors record in the laboratory. So we have started implementing eco-development, that is the ecological development, and with a community development approach. So in the ecological development, habitat enrichment practices, we started simultaneously sustainable development of the communities. Unless you take care of the people are no longer they're ready to work with us. So therefore, a plan has been devised by me and submitted to the World Bank, and along with that, motivated battalions of people, conducted thousands of trainings, and started implementing the project, World Bank project. By the time World Bank entered into Andhra Pradesh, and we were ready with the plan and started, and World Bank was very happy with that, and we requested about 13 crores of rupees, and immediately the World Bank has sanctioned, and Government of India started implementing this project. These are some of the achievements I'll be telling, and many alternative income generation programs have been given to the people, and many trainings are given, and small scale cottage industries and also been conducted. This is the research laboratory. I started this as back as 1995 itself as a eco research and monitoring laboratories in Nallamala Hill Ranges. We did not have much funding for the starting of this kind of research. I was one among the member committee. Other two are Director Botanical Survey of India and the Director Geological Survey of India. We have been asked to do for the environmental impact assessment survey for the right branch canal, that takes the water to from Nagal Sagar Sricham Reservoir to the Tamil Nadu. So that time we could able to bargain some funds for the establishment of the biodiversity research laboratory. So then with that funds, we started biosystematic studies. That's the inventory of both flora and fauna, and also extracting the eco-technology from the nature, ecological economics, bioprospecting studies, eco-development studies, ethnomedico-botanical studies, bioinformatics, using the information technology and biomedics and conservation biology, and management of the modern management of the biodiversity in the protected area network of the protected area network. So that's how a deep foundation has been laid in the Eastern Ghats, and we have conducted several field studies, both floral and faunal field studies, and we brought the specimens. There itself we used to live in the forest, in the tents and all these things, weeks together, months together, and collect a lot of information. That information, we brought it and processed it through the computer programming and all these things. And specimens have been collected and deposited in this research laboratory. And lot of work has been done in the Eastern Ghats. both the academic and scientific work has been done. Simultaneously, the academic and scientific work that has yielded many management solutions to the pertinent issues that has been there in the Eastern Ghats. So these are the results of this thing, and these are some of the results. These are thing, and many of these geocline elegans, that is stockpot, has been smuggled from these areas in the Eastern Ghats, and we could able to capture the hunters, especially the smugglers, from the airports and seaports using the technique that is installing some kind of injecting some elements into the species, and whenever we used to recapture these animals at the ports and airports, and we used to see that using with a scanner, and whether it has been poached from the Eastern Ghats or somewhere else. And that's how we could able to segregate the population from the Gujarat population from the southern India populations. And also we have done lots of regeneration processes for which we made a detailed catchment study areas. And this is the, as I told in the beginning itself, the upland catchment area. It used to give a lot of rainfall. It used to collect a lot of rainfall, and all these waters are drained into down streams and all these things. Within no time, the entire area becomes very hard, and no water is to be calculated. So therefore, we made GIS and remote sensing studies, and we could able to estimate how this water is draining into these man-made reservoirs and all these things, and where exactly all these drains have been broken and all these things, and we repaired all these things and got repaired them, and the water drained into the natural and artificial reservoirs. So for which we made a watershed and catchment development for this thing using erosion response model, and we have delineated highly thirsty areas, highly critical areas, highly vulnerable areas, and we started investing money in those highly critical areas by developing micro catchment areas, and where exactly the check dams, where exactly the earthen dams and contour bunding, contour check dams, and all these, where exactly we should construct it. See, instead of going randomly, we made a detailed study, and by which studies and implementing this project, the entire moisture regime and the Eastern Ghats is improved. Now what you are saying is, so using the people's knowledge, and we started constructing earthen gravity dams. Instead of masonry gravity dams, we use the earthen gravity dams because soil is available and people's knowledge is also there. Because of our experience and we learnings from the forest colleges, because we are taught about the civil engineering and all these things. So we implemented what all we have been learned from the forestry trainings and all these things. We started implementing without spending much amount, with a very cost benefit. We made a cost benefit analysis. The benefit is about 100 times more than the cost we have invested on this thing. So these are some of the studies we made, and the large part of the Eastern Ghats, they were suffering for from water, because 10 years in the Nalamalais, there was not even a drop of water in this forested area. There used to be water, there used to rain and all these things, but where it is going, because of the construction of these things and all these things, now all the cascading water reservoirs, they fill and overflow to the down below, and especially the Telangana part of that's Amravati plateau and the plains in Amravati area, they are much benefited, and they have represented the ministers, members of parliament, MLAs and all these things, because there was no solution, because not much study has been done by anybody. Because of our study, we could able to give the pertinent solution. Thereby, now people started that place, that time, they used to get only one good crop in a 3 years time, but whereas they started harvesting in some places 3 crops in a year. That was the thing. and also brought unplowed areas into the crop areas, and with a small investment, you could able to bring this degraded areas, drought-prone areas into the good wetland areas. And now people have started cultivating the grains. Otherwise, these people, what you are seeing here, this is from the smuggling villages. Now they have been given about 9 months work in their farmlands. They have the farmland, but there was no water. And the lands were with the rocks, stones are strewn everywhere, and all these things have been removed, and the lands have been plowed with the tractors, with the cost investment from the World Bank funding, and we could able to bring them into the mainstreaming of the life. And also we taught them what kind of structures they should collect, and all they now the small water pools have been developed in the forested area, so that the animals will get the water in the dry season, and they will not go into the villages and all these things. So that's how a lot of work has been done, and we processed through this thing. And also we have that estimate at that time, we don't have the camera traps, and then we started processing. We put the manual collection of these pug marks, and we translated into the plaster of Paris, and taken the close photography, and digitized the contours of the paws, contours of the toes, and all these things, and using the trigonometrical equations and all these things. Here we applied mathematics, applied GIS and remote sensing knowledge, and we could able to segregate, and we could able to identify about almost 60 tigers are there in this area. And people used to say that there are no tigers. Government of India, it was almost ready to denotify the status of tiger reserve from this area. Then with the help of our study, a scientific study, and we could able to prove it. Dr. Jairam Ramesh, the central minister, he could, when he has conducted convened a meeting for all the officers, we have represented that meeting and challenged for those armchair conservationists at the Delhi level, and said that we have the tigers, about 60 tigers, and we are ready to show it. What they say is, you were part of Eastern Ghats or with the Naxals, and they are allowing the people to cut the trees and kill the animals. How can we believe it? Then there was an answer with the photographic evidence, slides, and all these things. We educated the team sent by the central minister, and they have seen it, and they were very much satisfied. They went round the nook and corners of the areas, and wherever we did not take them, they have shown it. Can you able to take this point, this point, this point? So wherever they want to go, we took them, and they informed the central minister. Within a week days, he had come out there, and with his and he was warned by both the SPs from Mahabubnagar and Kannur not to stay in the forest area, forest guest houses, as there is every possibility of threat for his life. And he looked at me. I told him, sir, you will be very comfortable. No problem, sir. We are there. We could able to convince the smugglers, convince the poachers, and through them, there was a message gone to them, and now they are totally changed people, and they are not allowing the smugglers to cut that trees. They are not being encouraged. So he stayed with us for 3 days. A central minister stayed with us, and 3 hours in my class, and he was very much satisfied and declared that. And the tiger reserve in Andhra Pradesh, now in Telangana, is doing an excellent job, and he was very much happy, and promoted for some and promoted us for some awards. So we process through information, because a lot of information is accumulated. Unless we propose, we will process it and utilize for the management of the resources. It is of no use of gathering information except for writing the scientific papers. So we utilize all these things using the remote sensor GIS technology, we have used to perambulate the entire area, both on the land, both on the river, and educated the people there. We took the smugglers and poachers to those areas while giving extensive training. We used to take them to those areas where they used to cut the trees and fell the trees and kill the animals. Into those forested area, we made them to sit there, we made them to sleep under the trees and eat under the trees. And along with them, we also stayed in the forest area and developed a package called conservation holic education. I named it as a consolic education. It is nothing but the psychological transformation through conservation holic education. Paryavarna Vesna section Dwara, Manasika Jagrutikaran. This has really yielded a convincing result to the people, and most of the smugglers, they wanted to change their lives, and they wanted to come into the mainstream of the result, and they wanted some kind of leadership from the department, and we could able to extend the leadership and also take care of their welfare in that area. So that's how people have participated, and we make these people to play ecological games and all these things, and we have given them the binoculars and made those people to appreciate it. There's a big story behind it. I think you will be shortly will be seeing in one of the magazines, because hardly there is any time to deliberate here. And we took the people, smugglers and poachers, to different conservation areas within the state and outside the states, and people are got convinced about irrigation. We brought a sea changing, the representative tree, how it was and how it is changed. And these are the kind of things. And the local graveyards, they have not been dismantled by convincing the local people and allotting some area outside, and we covered the graveyards with the stones and soils and made an undulating land and developed with the grasslands and all these things here. So this is a kind of luring herbivore animals to this area so that the predatory species also move into that area. So these animals, they have evacuated this area about 30 years and started migrating into this area. That's how the highly degraded area have become highly productive areas in these things. This is a classic example of the our themes: restoration of ecosystems, restoration of the planet Earth, and part of the solution this year's present theme. We are the part of the solution. We are not the part of the problems. That's how we have empowered the villages. Gender participation was made imminent. Socio-economic improvement is done, and people's aspirations have been increased. Once the degraded habitat is restored, village tanks are improved. That supported irrigation, and also crop yield has been increased, and smuggled routes in the villages have been plugged. Animal population increased. That is the result. The tiger population has been increased and proliferating. See, once the tiger population increasing means the prey population, the food population of the tigers or apex animals increasing. That means good vegetation is improving. That means good soil is being protected. Soil is the water infiltrating into the soil. Soil works as a sponge, and to build up 1 inch soil, nature takes 2,500 to 5,000 years. To lose 1 meter deep soil hardly takes a few minutes time. So that's how, through the vegetative measures, by involving the local people with appropriate technology, both local and indigenous technology, and also high-tech technology, we could able to improve the soil moisture conditions of this area. So this closes at present my topic. If anybody wants in detail, I have still hundreds of slides. I made it, how and for each of these technology and all these things, and I will share it. Thank you very much for your patient hearing and having given me time about 1 hour, 15 or 20 minutes time. Thank you very much to Dr. Sadasivaya and faculty of the Jadcherla College and University, professors, scientists, academicians, and everyone and all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your elaborated lecture on biodiversity of Eastern Ghats, especially Nalamalais of Andhra Pradesh and also Telangana. Now, I would like to invite the co-convener of the webinar, Mr. Srinivas Rao Garu, to give a feedback on this lecture. Sir, please.
So, very great. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Srinivas Rao. I'm so glad and very happy to share the feedback of K.Thulsi Rao sir. I'm so happy and privileged to share. It's a very interesting, it's a binocular scope of Eastern Ghats, and he has illustrated very well. And I have noticed in the biodiversity concept, everybody talks about Western Ghats only and Himalayas. But this is the first time I had and I heard a talk about Eastern Ghats and their livelihood and the biodiversity which is across the Eastern Ghats. I'm very much privileged. And it's very eye-opening session and which brought all the elements and which are included. And from so what exactly the Eastern Ghats consist and how the biodiversity is inclined with respect to the flora and fauna and how they are integrated each other. And the session mainly a thought-provoking for us. How come a biodiversity including a ecological biodiversity and all the things, and how the people are integrated with the biodiversity and their activities, the threats to the biodiversity and ecosystem, and he come up with great preventive measures how to overcome the threats which are happening to the biodiversity. And now we are in the genre where we are encountering with various type of problems which are threatening the biodiversity. But Sir has given a very good examples and the rescue measures and transformation measures he has taken to overcome the biodiversity threats. And he has given the values, and the talk mainly went with the rescue measurements with a small approaches which anybody can apply and do. And also awareness programs what the Sir has conducted throughout his tenure are very fabulous and very interesting. Very simple awareness programs made many of the people to transform themselves, not to cut the trees and rescue the animals and stopping the hunting programs and all the things. And it's very much impressive talk, sir. And also we are very much impressed with the work we have done. So many people do work, but you convinced the ministers and the central ministers, and you made many programs and which have changed the Eastern Ghats space, especially Amrabad Tiger Reserves and especially our Nalamala Tiger Reserves has restored with their names, with your efforts, sir. And we are very much grateful to you for giving a elaborated discussion regarding values of the biodiversity with respect to ecological and social and cultural values which are vested with the biodiversity. So once again, I'm very much thankful to you, K.Thulsi Rao sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, Ravindra sir is there? The Vice Principal of the Dr. BRR Government College, Jadcherla. Ravindra sir?
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Are you there? Would you like to speak anything on this occasion, please?
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah, please, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. You are audible now.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, I would like to ask one question to K.Thulsi Rao, sir. Sir, we have been facing a lot of problems in the degradation of biodiversity around us. Meanwhile, what the human being is thinking is that he wants to live in Mars without any diversity. He wants to live in Mars and want to become Martian. But how can he make a sustainable life on Mars without having any biodiversity there? This is my question, sir. This is my point of discussion with you, K.Thulsi Rao, sir. Please share your opinion, sir.
Hello, K.Thulsi Rao, sir. Hello.
Hope, sir, it's not available. Hello. Okay, Sada, share your opinion on this. Hello, Sadasiva?
Sir, please, sir.
Okay. Please answer the question, sir.
Sir, please answer the question, sir. Ghats, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Hello.
Please answer the question, sir.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Foolishness to think that we could live in other planet, first of all. There are aspects of the positive aspect. First of all, reduce our carbon footprint on this planet. Reduce the population explosion. Secondly, lot of by controlling whatever we have now, by controlling, by protection of our natural resources, I think it supports. Already we have crossed the 1 day. The natural resources of the planet, they used to support us 12 months in a year. Now they have repeated to the extent that they combine only for the 5 months in a year. So, through careful management of the planet, as given by the Convention of Biodiversity and other environment systems, we countries should be very fruitful in maintaining the ecological balance of the planet. Now, because Corona, what all that we did not learn, now everyone started implementing, raising our hands and all these things, and maintaining distance, wearing the mask and all these things. See, that kind of situation is not very far off. Where every one of us has to move it. Oxygen are that. If that is so, how many of us could make the expenditure of buying oxygen? Not even Philippines, not even the President of America. So it is a high life. So that's why we should celebrate the International Day. For the sake of celebration, but everybody should be they should have instill spirit to them. So we should work with the spirit, not with the slogan, not with the just having some knowledge. And we cannot live in the mask any amount of technology that totally changes the human evolutionary process. That cannot be matched with the natural evolutionary process. So, it's a foolishness of thinking. So, there is no oxygen, there is no atmosphere. Water is also not there. So, it might be there, it should be there. But who knows that people like us, some intelligent people, and they need all these things, and they trust in the natural resources, so water is also from the place. So also, it is not far away, where all the oceans will be dried up. If the atmosphere is lost in space, so it is high time that everyone should take care. Each individual should take care in protecting this planet. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And also, thanks for the organizers too, organizing a very beautiful seminar. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Actually, what happened just now, power has gone at the home of K.Thulsi Rao, hence